versus Dubois coming up this Friday for those who are into boxing. And I have been very much back into boxing thanks to the reignition of the heavyweight division over the last decade and to be honest with you, the easier access to boxing, but having to pay out a fortune now. Usyk versus Dubois 2. The first one, everybody knows like there was the controversial low blow because it was just kind of on the belt line. Technically, I think it really does count as a low blow, but everybody felt like, yeah, okay, maybe technically it was, but it didn't hit him in the nuts. But I think that whole area is supposed to be kind of off limits for a reason. But to me, it doesn't really matter regardless. He floored him with, to me, what was a decent gut punch. But I also think he would have got up if he'd been counting to 10. I really do. And the one thing that Usyk seems to do, if he gets hurt and around, it's happened against AJ, it's happened against Dubois, and it's happened against Fury. When he gets hurt and around, that next round he comes back and steals that person's soul. He's done it in the three most important fights of his life, or two, at least two of them. So I see with Daniel Dubois, and this is the part I want to know what other people think, really. And I'm not just saying that for the algorithm. I mean, this is the genuine part I'm trying to work out. Daniel Dubois, obviously on the spectrum, he came when he lost against Usyk the first time. Totally different fighter. No confidence, no self-belief. Really, his whole, physically a monster. His whole problem was psychological. And they worked him in his corner and in his team. They've got him to speak and be confident. And there was a stage where he's actually really likable because he just started to speak his mind. And you found out he's not a really advanced man, but he's not that stupid either. He was quite fun to listen to when he was just being himself. And obviously, to sell fights, fighters are expected to do stupid stuff. So they got him to do some stupid stuff, which didn't sit well with his character. And you could see even he wasn't comfortable with it. But just recently with this Dubois stuff, he's really been, to be honest with you, coming across like a total dick. And I don't know whether it's the people in his corner to blame who are trying to maybe overdo his confidence or sell the fight or whatever the fuck they think they're doing. But sorry about that. The way he's coming across and the way that he's speaking to Usyk and everything else, it kind of doesn't suit him, and therefore it makes him come across like a right asshole. It's not. I don't think it's selling the fight. I think it's just making people turn on him a bit. And I think if he keeps doing it, and he also, I've seen in certain interviews and that he is actually getting cocky. And there's a difference between gaining confidence from what people are telling you and what you see a lot of fighters do, believe the smoke that's being blown up your ass. There's a difference between the two, believe in your own hype and just believing in yourself. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong because his performance against Miller showed his heart, but I could very well see this fight going in a very similar way to the first one. The only difference is he's not going to go down on one knee because he won't let people see that again. But I could still see him taking a way out of the fight. I could still see him visibly giving up if it's still going come the ninth round. Not even because I think he's a bad boxer or anything else. I think mentally he's still questionable because he's on a run at the moment. What he hasn't had is somebody standing there and making him look a fool, making him miss. We haven't seen that. We've seen him in trade-offs, brilliant, and he did really well. But we haven't seen what happens when he's missing and getting hit. And I still think that weakness is there, and especially with all the shouting and screaming he's doing at the moment, I think it's to hide something. Having said that, like I said, I don't know which to choose because he's also been, I think, very cocky. I think that he may lose this fight via ego, not TKO or via ego, or via his team. I'm not sure which. because he's got the age advantage. He's not got the skill advantage, but he has something AJ never had, and that's the ability to move very quickly and throw a lot of hard punches very quickly. If he could maraud Usyk, which is not easy, but he is the fighter that could do it if he had the right game plan to cut the ring off. But I could see him just getting outboxed and disheartened and smashed, and maybe even knocked out. Which I know is, Usyk's not a knockout guy, but he nearly put, he nearly put Tyson Fury out, and the guy's twice his size. He hurt AJ. He can do it. He can do it. So I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Usyk might run straight through him. He might be that much of a different fighter now, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think that he is a different fighter. I think he's got more confidence, but I think some of that confidence now is not useful. And I also think that, yeah, he hasn't had this kind of test, and I guess we'll see. I think, like I say, regardless of win or lose, I do respect him as a boxer now. He really is. He's good, and I'm not going to take it away from him. But I'm not sure he's been given the best advice at the moment. He was at first, but I think they've gone over the top. And yeah, maybe they've rattled Usyk a bit, and I think they may regret it. I think Usyk could just give him a 12-round punishment. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see a way of Dubois winning, except unless he steamrolls in the first couple of rounds. I just don't see it how. But if I'm wrong, yeah, tell me what you see happening, because it's easy to speculate, but Usyk's older. You can age overnight and lose your ability overnight. Look at AJ. So it's really hard to judge these things because you think you know, but you're only basing things off the last fight, and that's the dangerous way of doing it, really. But it's all you've got. Anyway, Tom Fury.